Welcome to Conflict News 24. On daily basis, we share impartial and neutral updates on global conflicts. Firstly, Japan is being drawn into ongoing China, US China, Taiwan tensions. Japan is upgrading its Type 12 missiles, which Japan plans to deploy to islands close to China. The move could lead to tension between Japan and China. And secondly, the islands where Japan is planning to deploy these missiles close to these islands, China is due to start live fire drills. Secondly, a new story from Russia where daughter of a close associate, Russian President Putin, was assassinated in a car bomb attack a few hours ago near Moscow city in Moscow Oblast. Fingers are being pointed towards Ukraine. Is Ukraine behind this assassination of Daria Dugina? And thirdly, we have been hearing that Ukraine was going to start a military offensive on Kherson to push Russian forces back from Kherson city. Ukraine has not launched any offensive. Rather, Russians are advancing from Kherson city in a northern direction. Today, Ukrainian military officials acknowledged Russian military advance towards two towns to the north of Kherson city. We have details for you on a map. Firstly, was Japan. In East China Sea, Japan plans to deploy long-range surface-to-ship missiles. Japan is in possession of Type 12 missiles, which are surface-to-ship missiles with a range of around 200 kilometers. Japan is upgrading these Type 12 missiles. The range is being enhanced to 900, 1000 kilometers. US is obviously cooperating with the Japanese government. US has its military presence in Japan, and after upgradation, Japan is planning to deploy its Type 12 missile with a range of 1000 kilometers on Nancy Island, also called Ryukyu Islands in East China Sea. These Japanese Nancy Islands are close to Senkaku Island, which are disputed between Japan and China. Japan wants to upgrade its missiles so that its missiles can have a range to hit other countries, especially China. Will China allow the deployment of Japanese Type 12 missiles on Japanese Nansei Island? That remains to be seen. It could lead to escalation. That just shows that Japan is drawn into this conflict, China, US, China, Taiwan conflict. Japan cannot remain aloof because there is a massive military presence, US military presence in Japan, and growing Chinese influence in the region. Chinese ambitions are a matter of concern for Japan as well. That is why Japan is also working on enhancing its military capabilities. Secondly, China is due to start military drills in East China Sea on Wednesday. Live fire drills will be conducted by Chinese Navy, Chinese Air Force in East China Sea close to Japan and South Korea. Both are US allies. Almost on daily basis, we are seeing that China is conducting naval drills, air drills in East China Sea in South China Sea, other parts close to Japan, South Korea, Taiwan as well, close to US allies, maritime borders. China is conducting military drills on Wednesday. Live fire drills will start in East China Sea. That is why, as I said earlier, that Japan has been forced to enhance its military capabilities. It is now working on developing long-range missiles. Secondly, towards Moscow, Russia, where daughter of a close associate of President Putin was assassinated a few hours ago. Alexander Dugin is a philosopher, a nationalist who is seen as very close to Russian President Putin. And he has been preaching for reunification of territories of other countries where Russians live with Russia. So he is backer of Russian invasion of Ukraine. And he is very close to Putin reportedly. His daughter has been assassinated. His daughter's name is Daria Dugin, an aspiring politician. 29-year-old Daria was assassinated in a car bomb attack in Moscow Oblast, close to Moscow city, a few hours ago. Father and daughter, they attended a celebration, and when they were departing, they switched their vehicles. Daria's vehicle was targeted. Reportedly, a device was attached under this vehicle, Toyota Land Cruiser Prado vehicle. The bomb went off along a highway when the vehicle was moving along a highway close to Moscow city. Daria died on the spot. Later, Alexander Dugin also arrived on the spot. Investigations are underway. Is there any role of Ukraine in this assassination? Because Alexander Dugin, Daria Dugina, both were staunch critic of Ukraine and staunch supporters of Russian attack on Ukraine. Ukraine has denied involvement in this attack. Zelensky's special advisor spoke an hour ago. He denied Ukrainian involvement in this attack. On the other hand, Russian foreign ministry said that if Ukraine was found involved in this attack, it would be an act of state-sponsored terrorism and Russia would retaliate. Russia is already attacking Ukraine. If Ukraine is behind this attack, it means that Ukraine has immense reach now in Moscow, in Russia. It can hit Russian influential persons. If Ukraine is not behind this attack, it means that there are some groups in Russia which can attack those people who are close to Russian President Putin. So it's another alarming thing for Putin that some groups are operating in Russia which can hit Russian President Putin's associates. Let's see. Investigations are underway. So far, Russian government has not officially accused Ukraine. Thirdly, viewers, we have been hearing that Ukraine is going to launch a counteroffensive on southern front to push Russian forces back from Kherson city. Ukraine could not launch any counteroffensive. Rather, Russians have managed to get out of Kherson city towards Mykolaiv. Russians have made some military gains towards Mykolaiv from Kherson. We have details for you. Have a look at this map. You can see Kherson here, viewers. This is first major Ukrainian city which was taken by Russians. For around 5 months, more than 5 months, the city has been under Russian control. And we have been hearing that Ukraine was planning a major counteroffensive to take back Kherson city across Dnieper River. You can see Dnieper River here. This blue patch shows Dnieper River. And Ukrainians have been trying to attack Russian supply lines here, these bridges, this one and this one, Novokakhovka and Antonevka. They were attacked by Ukrainians and they were partially damaged as well. A railway bridge linking Kherson city with these areas also came under attack from Ukrainian forces. Ukraine was trying to cut off Russian supply lines to push Russians withdraw from here to across Dnieper River. But Russians have not withdrawn, and Ukrainian forces could not get close to Kherson city. They were in fact close to Kherson city, but now it seems that they have been pushed back, because today Ukrainian defense officials in daily briefing confirmed Russian military advance towards two towns which are situated to the north of Kherson city. Let's have a look at the two towns first. The two towns towards which Russians have managed to advance are firstly this one. It's called Vasilkiv, and second town is also close to Vasilkiv. Its name is this one, Blahodatne and Vasilkiv. Ukrainian defense official today confirmed that Russian forces they have managed to improve their tactical position towards Vasilkiv and Blahodatne. It means that Russians have managed to get close to these places. It's not that Vasilkiv and this place are under Russian control. But if they have improved the tactical position, it means they have managed to get close to these two towns. And how far are these two towns from Kherson city? You can see here Kherson city. And these places are several kilometers away from Kherson city. It means that now Ukrainian military is not close to Kherson city. It has been pushed back from Kherson city towards Mykolaiv here and towards these areas. So Ukrainian counteroffensive is nowhere to be seen. Ukrainian forces could not make any considerable gains, or they have lost their gains because they have been pushed back. And it means that Russians will now try to move towards Mykolaiv. They'll try to cut off this road and this road as well. And we know that Mykolaiv is under heavy shelling. Missile strikes are conducted by Russians on daily basis. Artillery strikes are being conducted on Ukrainian positions close to Mykolaiv. So again, a confirmation that Ukraine has not made any significant gains when it comes to launching a counteroffensive on Kherson city. Thank you for watching.